Hi, I'm Robin.
Hi, and I'm Bill.
Welcome to Not the Retirement Show. This is our third journey series. Today, we're talking about the second section of the book, which is considering your options. So, in our last discussion, we talked about the retirement roller coaster. Today, we're going to back the roller coaster up and chat about what kinds of things you might want to consider before you even reach the day of retirement.
Well, yeah, I think that's right. I mean, people talk about the retirement plan or retirement planning, which of course we advocate completely. But I think most people look at that as being financial planning. Saving for retirement, which is obviously right on the money, so to speak. But there are so many other issues that you need to consider. You need to think about, what am I going to do with myself? What am I going to do with all this so-called free time and so forth? So while money and saving, etc., is critical, particularly in the sense of, will I have enough money not just to retire, but for the entire length of my third journey, namely the retirement years. That has to be taken into consideration. Taking into consideration things like inflation, unexpected expenses, longevity, obviously, how long you're going to live, stuff like that. So there's more to it than that, but certainly the other issues, which we'll chat about, are maybe not equally important, but they're getting there.
I have to agree with you, but I also think there's a really fundamental question that a lot of people overlook. It doesn't matter whether this retirement is mandatory on the part of your employer or if it's something you've decided on. Are you actually ready to be retired? In that capacity, I mean, are you actually ready to not have something substantial to do with your life, with your time? Here's the thing. In this modern age where everything is geared towards, get a job, build a career, pay for your life, and then retire, something kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And it's this thing that we like to call a life purpose or a life mission. Now, some of us feel this much more strongly than others. There are a few people, very fortunate ones out there, who from the time they're 6 years old, they know exactly what they want to be, exactly what they want to do with their life. And a lot of other people, not so much, but that doesn't mean that you never actually had a life dream of what you wanted to be. If you think back about your childhood, what did you say you wanted to be when you grew up? Are you actually that? Or is that something, a version of you that is still yet to be? That is a very fundamental question that this is a great time in your life to consider.
Yeah, well, I think the whole thing about, your earlier years, you go to school, you're growing up, you go to college, perhaps you get some level of formal training. And then there's a natural progression because you just naturally know that all things being equal, you're going to go into the workplace, you're going to find a job, you're going to make money because you've got things to do with the money, and so forth. That's a very natural kind of a thing. Everybody understands that, everybody recognizes it. Yeah, some of us may have a few bumps in the road, granted, but broadly speaking, we know which direction we're going in. The problem is that when you reach age 65, and let's just use that as the milestone, and as you say, whether it's mandatory or whatever it may be in terms of actually taking retirement, I'm not going to say it's unnatural, but it's a completely different way of thinking because you've now got to basically build your own path. You've now got to create your own milestones. You've now got to create all of the things that you want to do in your life now that you are, retired. And you've got to see them through. You've got to follow them through. There's nobody else going to do this for you. You're going to have to do that yourself. So where you were in your earlier years and you were progressing through your career, there were guidelines, there were guideposts, etc. People were there to say, do this, do that, try and help you. That doesn't happen in retirement. You're on your own.
But that doesn't mean that you can't still accomplish something amazing in your life, either personally or professionally, or for all of humanity. Now, I know what some of you are going to be sitting there thinking, oh, I'm too old. It's too late. I had my chance. I missed it. And you know what I'd say? Hogwash. There's absolutely no reason in this world why you can't still make an absolutely huge contribution to the world at this point in your life. In our book, The Third Journey, and here's a copy of it right here, we list a whole number of people who made their huge life-changing, world-changing contribution well past the age of 65. All it requires is you mustering sufficient self-belief to actually come up, formulate the plan, and enact it. Here's my question for you, and maybe you'd like to write it in the comments below when you see this video. If you knew you could not fail, what would you embark on today?
Yeah, retirement's a challenge. We always say, we probably say this in every video, that, retirement's the toughest job you'll ever have. We don't say that flippantly. We say that quite sincerely, because that, in fact, is the truth. You go ask people who are already retired, ask them about their ups and their downs, their good days and their bad days. You could be there for a while, because people will say, well, it's not quite what I thought it was going to be. I had this plan, but that didn't work out. Or I thought maybe I should do this, or maybe I should try that. But, then I spoke to somebody else and they said, no, don't do that. There are so many mountains to climb. I don't want to overemphasize the problems of retirement. I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's even fair. But conversely, I don't think it's correct to say, oh, yeah, life's a beach. We're going to be lying on the beach every day for the rest of our life. That ain't going to happen either. So, you got to take the good, the bad, hopefully not with the ugly, but you got to take all of those things into consideration, especially in the planning years, those retirement planning years. Which, as I said before, beyond the money aspect of it, what am I going to do with my time? What am I going to do every day? Am I going to work a 5-day week, a 7-day week? Some of us even work an 8-day week. These things all change, hopefully for the better.
I think the big thing that I would say is don't sell yourself short. If you're watching this video at whatever point in your life can be as big, as wonderful, as helpful to humanity as you can possibly imagine. And don't forget what Walt Disney said, you're never too old to dream a new dream. You just simply have to have the desire to do it. Well, if you're still watching, we must have said something helpful, so please subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like to follow along on these conversations, don't forget to get a copy of our book, The Third Journey. It's available on Amazon. And we'll chat with you again soon.